Hello out there, guys, and welcome for another day of PE Slick Podcast of the Woodlawn High Reunion. Joining me this week is my boy Durrell Cheese. Hey,
What's
Durrell,
up? What's up, bro?
what's going on with you, man?
Not much,
Oh
man.
yeah, I see you got the NFL. Is that for Redskins?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know,
Oh,
bro. We go all day, bro.
oh boy, that's one of the things about you guys. If you know Durrell, he is a mad Redskins fan.
Yes, sir. They let me down over here, so you still gotta love the team. What's going on, big fella?
Ain't not much, man. Hey, look, man. Today I just wanted to do like a throwback to the Old Core Middle days. For those who don't know, Southwest Academy it's Southwest Academy, but back then it was Old Core Middle, and that's where I met you. And yesterday, last night I had Devin and Justin and Lo. Just tell everybody, what was it like for you when you first came to Old Court?
Well, when I first came to Old Court in 2002, when I was up there, actually, I started the second day of school, actually, because I remember it. And then the first day was pretty cool, get to meet new people, because it was really more of a different kind of environment now. Because by me going to city school from late 1990s all the way up to 2002, it was like,
Right,
wow, like, is this environment going to be different because it's from city to county? And when I was
right,
walking there, I said, okay, this is more like me. Because back then in the city was a little bit kind of, it was fun, I could say, but county was more my speed, as people could say sometimes.
right. Okay. Yeah, I know for me it was I came in '03. It was I wouldn't say it was a challenge, but I guess it was something different, because when you leave elementary to go to high school, things are bigger and there's more people. Just like when you leave middle to high school, high to college, each step you go is more people.
Exactly.
Yeah. What kind of memories do you have of any of the teachers that you had?
Well, I had lots of memories with a lot of teachers. Sixth grade was a good few of them. Miss McFarland was one of them. Was great math teachers that was up there. She really inspired me of really loving math and liking math and
Hmm.
everything else. She really inspired me to go pretty much be in the math field, which is I am, which is me a news break. I just got a job offer at MetaFast, being a maintenance tech, getting more in my career. So that's a
There you
shout
go.
out. That's a shout out. I've been working hard for it. And I have to start by thanking her, really. I really never showed it all the time, but she really inspired me and really liking math. And I took it on and level until I got where I'm at.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, man, the high points of cause you became kind of a math whiz. What was the challenge for you? Learning all that math, calculus and all that stuff.
Well, basically, the kind of challenges I had was basically it really wasn't too much of a challenge. It was really more of sticking with the curriculum of it. Is a way to do it. It makes you teach you how to think. Once you
Right.
turn around, get the flow of it, you would turn around and get used to it.
Okay.
Just like it's just like I said, by me being into a little bit of mechanics, if you had the proper tools to fix your car, you could turn around and roll. That's how
Right.
it was. I had my tools in math that I had to do to expand it, and it got me where I'm at.
Okay. Yeah. I remember talking with Devin and Justin and Lo yesterday about a favorite teacher who that they had a crush on. Did you have one back then?
Well, I didn't have any crushes at that time on teachers. You know, what I mean, I had a few of them that was nice looking, but I never had too many crushes.
Yeah.
I never had too many crushes on teachers. I can't say it and admit that I know a lot of people will probably say, "You already know you lying. You know you had crushes on a few teachers," and I said, "Nah, that just wasn't me."
Yeah. Um, I guess because people don't know. At that time when we was in middle school, it was a different time. I mean, back then we had education was taught differently compared to today, where I interviewed my high school teacher, and he informed me that now children have the advantage to use their phone or any kind of tablet, any kind of gadget back then we didn't have all that. You know, cell phones were coming out, but they weren't like how they were today.
Exactly. I was looking at that. I was thinking about it. I said, wow, technology really, really had took over because back then we didn't have the tablets, we didn't have the laptops. We had the phones, but we had them old kind of flip phones. I remember my first flip phone I had, it was a small gray one, right? And I was listening to Devin podcast on it. He really kind of took it out my mouth, but he told absolutely right. It was one of them things you had to put minutes on. I think I burned like my first like 200, 300 minutes and all that one day. I looked at that and said, wait a minute, this ain't me. No camera on it. All you could do is just play the little ringtones on there. It was the best music they had on it. And that wasn't even no good music either.
Yeah. It's quite interesting, you know, how the technology has changed, and you know, and during that time, who are you a fan of compared to Bow Wow and Romeo? I know there was a battle back at that around that time between people liking one or the other.
Well, actually, be honest with you, if I had to pick who I was a fan of, I have to say Romeo, because Romeo really sampled pretty much music from the classics from back then. Because you already know me, Matt. I'm a diehard James Brown. I'm an old school fan. You know me. I'm a diehard James Brown fan, and by listening to him, like he really sampled like Michael Jackson. He sampled a little bit of James Brown, Luther Vandross. Like he really sampled like all the great music that was before our time into his music. And it made me say, like, bro, Romeo is not just a rapper and singer at the time. He can also take it into a classic level because some of the music that he had, he sampled from people from before our time. So I could say Romeo. But Bow Wow was good too. I ain't taking nothing from Bow Wow. But Romeo, I would say, as in the classic match, I had to give it to Romeo.
Right. Okay. So when you got into, well, let me say this. So with everything that's been going on in today's time, where do you see education going today? With everything that's been going on, especially with the coronavirus and people being at home and not graduating like we did and all that.
Well, basically, just like I always say, like these students that worked hard at all the way up to the end, you might got some of them who really, probably went through learning ways throughout their whole life, and then they coming out and they saw everything they accomplished and everything else. I look at them like, wow, like something is definitely going to be given to these hardworking students and stuff like that, because you never know what they went through in their homes, never went through in schools and everything else, and then they deserve a standing ovation for that. They really do. Because you got people out here, like I said before, like I look at people that's going into college that's not even going to see a high school graduation. That's like a time thing right there where like you will never forget. Like I graduated 2009 and stuff like that. And I know when I graduated, I said, wow, I really went through it all. Like I really did. But I stand up, tall and say, hey, I made out of high school and stuff like that. Wasn't a favorite one up there, but I could say I made it through.
Right. Okay. So I know, of course, you're a diehard Redskins fan. Were you ever in the Cowboys?
Nah, man, no Dallas, man. No Dallas whatsoever. Not so glad you mentioned about these football moments too, because I remember back in 8th grade, oh yeah, that's how I really took Redskin fan base to another whole level. Because I used to wear, I remember every Friday I used to wear a Redskin jersey. Every Friday, that shows my pregame of it. This guy named Rashard Early that I went to Old Court with, he was an Eagles fan at the time. And I'll never forget like all the battles we used to talk trash about our teams and all that stuff like that. And I remember I told Richard this right here. I said, guess what, bro? Y'all might be in the playoffs, but when y'all play us, we're going to make y'all earn your way into the playoffs. Ain't going to be no just slipping and sliding going in real easy. We're going to show y'all, hey, we're going to set a tone for the year 2005. And I remember that just like it was yesterday. Right. I had a lot of classic funny moments up at Old Court, especially my all-time favorite moment. I remember it was me, and it was in the band. I was in 7th grade at the time. We had our concert at Randallstown High, and the band teacher, all the great the David Miller. The Mr. David Miller was our band teacher at the time. And I have to say with him, he was really more, he used to crack on me because you already know my last name is Cheese. So they always used to crack on me all the time. You already know, man. They used to stay cracking on me. And then the time when he was ready to take the picture, he said, everybody say cheese. Everybody say Durrell. I said, oh my God. I remember I was mad. I really wanted to say, oh my God. Man. I said, I'm going to remember this day later on. I may not like it now, but it's going to be something to laugh at in the year's time.
Yeah, I remember when I met you because when I first met Durrell, I first met another friend of ours, Tobias Coates, and I met Durrell. And when they told me his last name was Cheese, your last name, I was like, cheese? Like cheeseburger or cheese pizza? Cheese? A food product? Like, who would have knew that? And then, and then I mean, before you were talking about changing it to Fordham and all that stuff, but that's something that held on, But that was interesting for me though, because I never knew somebody that was named after a food product.
Yeah. There was times where people used to tease me up and I used to change my name, say no, it's Durrell and all that stuff like that. I used to do all that. Like every time everybody used to call me by my last name, I'd be saying, hey, it's Durrell. No cheese here. I grew up on it, and nowadays I can say this. I laugh at it now because back then you did not like me when you used to tease me by my last name. I'd be ready to start fighting, man. You should know. I almost got into a couple squabbles at the time. So I just told myself, hey, man, just a name, just stick with it and stuff like that. And one of these days you're going to grow out of it. And that's what I did. I laughed more than that, more than getting offensive.
And one thing I got to remember about y'all don't know about Durrell, that I remember a little trivia. Durrell was so much a Redskins fan. When I first met you and came by your crib back then, you had a Coca-Cola soda with the Redskins name on there, saying the day they go to the Super Bowl, that's when you're going to open it. And this is 2003.
Yeah, I wound up throwing that soda away. That thing probably ride it out. I said, throw it away. We ain't never gonna go that long. If Dan Snyder, our owner, can't stay out of football operations, Washington will never see another Super Bowl. It might be another 20 years time you see another one. We about to be in our 30s. I might be in my 50s time they make one. By the way we going right now. So,
I mean, you never know. I mean, I never figured Green Bay would go as far as they did, or I know the Steelers been a tough team, and then we went the time that we did. It's interesting stuff in the NFL. Each year is always something different. So I think I'll leave faith for that. But Cowboys, I don't know.
But I do that to say, like, man, I just want to truly thank you bringing up, old court and all that stuff. Had a lot of fine memories. Had the good times. I sure had the bad times up in there at times too. And I definitely want to shout out to you, Justin Ritz, and all stuff like that. We've been kicking it for almost 20 years now in our friendship / brotherhood / cousins, however we say it. We've been kicking it forever. We saw each other, went through the bad, the good, and everything else. But one thing we can say is that we still strong and still been there. Went through a lot of things. We saw each other went through.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I have to say to young people out here, there's nothing wrong with going through a challenge. Just like Justin said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
There you go.
Always just remember that. It's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Yeah, it's something out here, and at that time, like I said, things were different then, and now it's like so much going on, and education is different, and one quote that I always say, it's staying positive, don't listen to negativity, and it's positivity that leads to possibilities.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I just had a flashback. I remember talking with them about it last night. Remember how y'all said I was kind of the first one to miss time out of school and still pass
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, man, I said to this day, man, even though it's probably it's been about you could say about 15 to 16 years now.
Yeah.
I still ask myself this every day, man. How do you still do it, yo? Because all that time is still past. I
Hey,
ask myself this every day.
Hollywood magic, I guess. I don't know.
I looked at that. I
You
said,
know,
wait a minute, Matt not in school. I remember every day I used to go around, me, couple of homies. Okay, let's go see what Matt up to, right? And I'd be
yeah,
looking around. I said, where Matt still not here? Matt still not here. And you say you were sick, man. I'm glad that you are recovered from, whatever you had. I'm glad that you recovered from it. And everything else, you back up and running again, bro. You was back then, always is. You always grind on your stuff, man. Just keep up, man. Blessings will come. Just like
yeah,
mine came today. So
yeah. At that time, I was ill, and there was some things going on at home as well. And when I finally did come back from, I was gone from November Thanksgiving until April in 2004. And when I came back, I still was sick and missed some time out. They still was like, "Oh, you going to do seventh grade for a little bit when you come back, and they'll take you to eighth." And somehow I still passed it. I was like, "Ain't no way in the world I'm going to do that." And how that happened, I have no idea. I call that a
yeah,
blessing. Who knew that
yeah,
was going to
exactly, man. I kept looking at it. I said, to this day, I always ask, how did Matt really pull that off, man? Like you said, man,
happen?
you went in there, you finished it out, moving on to the next level, handled your biz, man.
And the last thing, well, one of the other things I was going to touch on, meeting you, you're like the first friend I met at that time that was watching One Life to Live.
Yeah, I'm so glad you posted that up. I shot out a couple hollers at Bo and Nora. They was one of my favorite couples on the show, especially back in the 90s. And I met them put on to say 2004 was the best year I ever watched One Life to Live, especially the Christmas shows when they came on there when Todd was having that rivalry with Margaret Cochran. I never forget that. That was one of the highest rivalries on the show in that year going into 2005 and everything else. And with Blair, like, that was a really classic character. As I said, there will never be another show like One Life to Live, man, because I remember getting up in the morning before I went to school, make sure, I got to record it. I got to put it on the VHS before I go to school. I can't miss the day's episode because, we got out at 2:45. So I
Yeah,
had to say, hey, I got to make sure I record the stories before I go to school, no matter what. No
yeah,
matter
and
what.
it's interesting because when I got hooked on all these shows back then, I didn't really let nobody know because it's rare when you're a kid and you watch the soap operas, but
Mhm.
I guess from my standpoint, it was an escape because I was a good student, but I just wasn't focused a lot, and I was always writing, which led to me doing what I'm doing today. And then when I found out you watched me, I was like, okay, I'm in good company here. And he knows One Life to Live. That was a year I hooked on everything One Life to Live. And yeah, they just had a reunion. They had another one that was next week, and I interviewed the guy who played Nash in 2005 to 2008. His podcast interview is gonna be out next month. Yeah, it's interesting. Now it's only 4 shows on the air now.
Yeah, there you go. Like, I looked on there, I said, wow, my boy Bo got older, though. He's still one of my favorite soap opera actors. Robert Woods, man. Shout out to you, bro. Saw you
Yeah,
today. I hope you saw the comment I put Bo up there. I remember your favorite lines on there, man, which was drop the gun, Pa. Drop the gun, Pa. On Asa Buchanan, God rest his soul, the anchor man of the Buchanan family on there. I had to say, man, even though it was a show, man, Asa had his kids on the level. I had to give it to him. He did.
yeah.
Yes.
So man, how are you and your family holding up during this pandemic?
Well, it's all hanging in there, bro. At least still working. We still going at it. Getting the daughter ready for school and everything else, and trying to get her ready for the next chapter, man. In today's news, I just received, they can definitely say, "Wow, we definitely in there." All that we gotta do is just keep it together. Don't let
Hey,
nothing just. It's gonna slide a little bit. All that we gotta do is just keep it together. Just keep our P's and Q's together, and it's all set. Shout out to my BWI. Like I said, it was great. 3 going on 4 years there and things like that. And I just want to say shout out. I'll always be a BWI family all day.
Right.
Always listening. Always will be a BWI family member all day long, every day. No, I never forget y'all times like ready to fly to Charleston. I make sure I stop over to Southwest ticket counter. Holler. They already know I'm diehard Washington fan, so we're gonna be talking trash all year. Most likely there is gonna be a season. So I'm looking forward to play the Ravens this year, even though the Ravens are my favorite AFC team. I have to say I'm looking forward for that game right there. I have to say this right here. Sorry, I had to put the Ravens down on this one, but I said my Washington Redskins, y'all gonna come to FedEx. We about to own the Beltway in football for the first time in over 20 years. We're gonna put our name right back on the Maryland football line.
Man, I don't know. I sent the shout out to your pops. I don't know if he watching or Devin. I don't know. I know one of them watching this, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Redskins are the dead skins. They ain't going.
All right, bro. I make sure I hold that accountable to you. So when we win on week 4, when I send everybody Redskin jersey as a gift to cheer up, I just make sure I get everybody sizes before the game. Anyway, Matt, since you're on here, what's your shirt size? So I can make sure I order your jersey. I put Parish on the back of it for you to cheer you up.
Man, go ahead with that, man. You send me one of them shirts, I'm gonna use it for like a doormat or a rug or something, man. I ain't putting that on.
Man.
Only thing I put on if it's a sport is Ravens. Now, I mean, nah.
Like I said, it's all respect, man. It's really all respect because I like the Ravens too. The only time I go against the Ravens is once every 4 years. I never go against them after that. So I just hope this year Super Bowl prediction I have a Ravens. Hopefully this prediction will come right. I have a Ravens and the Saints this year for the Super Bowl. This year I see Team Lamar. I see Lamar Jackson will go in there, did what he did last year, but be better. Just watch the film, bro. Capitalize with what you did right and fix what you did wrong. I guarantee you, bro, you're going to be a great quarterback in this league for a long time. For a long time, you'll be a great player in this league. By me playing football throughout years, in high school, bench warmer, semi-pro, started. Just want to let you know something, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Just watch the film, man. Just study, do your homework. You'll make a long way. I wish I could took it that far. I never took it that far, but that's the way you learn them better. That's how I did in semi-pro. When I started, when things went on, I had to drop it, man. Every day I wish I regret I never stopped playing football. I would love to get back and play, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah. From years of knowing you and knowing all these sports, you ever thought about being like a sports announcer or caster on the news or something?
I was thinking about it. Actually, to be honest with you, since my career kicking off in maintenance, I always wanted to think about like going to just looking at some broadcasting schools. Hopefully, I would love to try to get into it, man. Love to try to hopefully be something part-time one day. I was thinking about this year on Facebook, do a Facebook Live when it comes time for the Redskins, do like a preview of the game, look at the film, and I do my breakdowns on how the Redskins going to win. Of course, I'm not like my brother Devin Cheese about them Cowboys talking 16-0. I'm not like that, man. I'm a diehard Redskin fan, but I never talk about no 16-0. If I did, I must be young and naive back then. But I never talked no 16-0. Shout out Devin Cheese, man. But keep in mind, bro, Cowboys still suck. So get that in your head, man.
Man, but yeah, I mean that would be interesting change for you on your part because you watch NFL, you watch college football, and you would know the players and the different moves and something like things that I don't even know. I'm like, he need to be on the news somewhere, broadcasting news or ESPN or something because that's to me that's a lot of information to know offhand. You know all that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I was thinking about really getting into it. I'll probably get into it probably later on. Like I said, once I get, deep in my career, something I love to do part-time. Just do it for myself, you know what I mean? Put it out there, let the fans know. Y'all read through this. We already know we went through one tragic loss 12 years ago. No, actually, I'm wrong. 13 years ago. We went through a tragic loss going on 13 years. The week after Thanksgiving, we lost a great football player, Sean Taylor. He really inspired me when I was playing football, especially in my semi-pro, my hard-hitting days. As I can say, I was a hard hitter by watching him hitting hard, but even though I was on the defensive line, I always told myself I would be the Sean Taylor of the defensive line.
Yo, DJ, they have a little quick meeting downstairs.
What?
I don't know.
All right. Do I need help?
Yeah, you have to come.
All right. Sorry, Matt. We had to cut this broadcast off. I got to handle something.
All right, man. Hey, look, thanks for coming out, man. We'll catch up later.
All right, bro.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you for coming on board with PE Slick Podcast. It's your host, Ranger Matt. I'm signing off. Until next time, see ya. You have a good night now.